find your seats. Please join us in Morning Has Broken.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, spring and completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, morn of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise from elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Welcome to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Obi Duru, he, him, and I am your worship associate this morning. Today we gather in the spirit of Ostara, the spring equinox, a time of balance between light and darkness and a celebration of renewal, growth, and new beginnings. As the earth awakens from winter's rest, we are reminded of the endless cycles of change and transformation in our own lives. This season invites us to plant seeds, both literal and symbolic, that will flourish in the months ahead, bringing hope, intention, harmony, and transformation into our world. When we align ourselves with the energy of renewal, remarkable things become possible, whether it's fostering personal growth, strengthening our communities, or finding harmony in our relationships. But when we resist change and hold on to stagnation, we hinder our own potential and that of those around us. I first started attending VUU back in about 2010, was very active for 7-ish years, and was away for 7-ish years. But life, like the changing seasons, carried me in different directions, but with everything going on in our world today, I felt the call to return. Thank you. And when I stepped back into the space several weeks ago, I felt renewed, like spring itself, and I'm so thankful that so many of you welcomed me back with open arms. Let's use this service to reflect on how we can embrace the spirit of Ostara, cultivating growth, balance, and new possibilities for ourselves, our families, and the world around us. Now, one thing that personally excites me about VUU and its future is that we almost always have guests among us. At this time, I'd like to take a moment to recognize anyone who may be visiting or is new to the community in general. No pressure, but we would love to see who you are, just so that we can greet you after the service. If there are any visitors, please stand briefly if you feel comfortable. Or wave, that works too. Thank you. We look forward to getting to know you and seeing you all at future services. We take pride in the fact that each service is unique and offers a new experience. If you are new to VUU or to Unitarian Universalism in general, we will have a welcome circle after the service facilitated by Doug. Stand up, Doug, or wave, Doug. He'll be facilitating a welcome circle. And then we also have people joining us via YouTube. Although we can't see them, they can see us. Let's give them a wave. Quick wave of welcome. Glad that you all are joining us. All right, so a couple announcements. So pastoral care. Each week, we have trained pastoral care associates that are available for anyone needing support or a listening ear. This Sunday, pastoral care will be provided by Adrian O'Donnell. There's Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. And then Magnus Hawthorne will also be offering services online. So they will be responsible for pastoral care this upcoming week. You can contact the pastoral care group at any time at pastoralcare@vuu.org. And then Caring Neighbors. So Caring Neighbors, just a reminder, works to foster a loving and caring community in which VUU members and friends nurture, support, and assist each other through life's joys and trials with things like meals, social gatherings, and occasional rides. They can be reached at caringneighbors@vuu.org. And with that, let's move into our service.
Well, you know we're going to light our chalice, and as Obi lights the chalice for us, why don't you join us in these words? We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. Welcome back, Obi. Thank you. I'm Reverend Sarah Oglesby Dunnigan. I'm the settled minister here, they, and here is a reading from one of my colleagues and actually someone I went to seminary with, Reverend Gretchen Haley, who serves in Fort Collins, Colorado, also my hometown. This act of faith. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? And these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, perhaps Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought, as if we are not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. And that is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still a new world is possible and that we are creating it already, here and now. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Lori Fagan, and for those of you who have been around since about the mid-2000s, Beverly, Linda, Barb, Ken, you may remember when Reverend Kelly hired a young keyboard player named Todd Martino. Yes. Remember, he kind of had hair hanging down in his eyes. He had a piercing in his eyebrow. Oh, but who could he play? And so I talked to him about jazz, and turns out he learned all the old classic jazz standard songs from his grandmother. So he and I performed together for more than 3 years while he was going to ASU studying engineering and coding. And he would just take every jazz and piano class they would allow him with that kind of a major. Anyway, he graduated, went back east where he's from and is living in New York City. But before he left, I took him into the studio to record some backup tracks for me. And this one is one of Todd Martino's. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, join me if you'd like, what a wonderful world. Very nice. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day and the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I'll watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me, for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day and the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. With Todd Martino. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm still Sarah Sauter, she, her. More important to say those pronouns than ever these days. I am your interim director of faith formation. You already know this other Sarah. And I was going to say, Reverend Sarah,
Yes. Sarah?
I see that the worship service today is all about counting to 5.
Well, yes, but that's just part of what we're doing.
I bet there are some small people out there that already know how to count to 5. Do I have a volunteer that could count to 5 right now?
Come on up.
1. Yay! Thank you so much, sweet thing. Remind me, Reverend Sarah, why are we focusing on counting to 5 today?
Well, I mentioned in Happenings. How many of you actually read Happenings?
Ooh, look at
Look
that.
at that. Okay, gold stars for all of you. That certain billionaires, who shall remain unnamed, are asking people to name 5 things that they did last week to be productive. And I thought a better idea was to name things that have helped us to heal and be more humane with one another, something like that. And I don't actually think the number matters so much as the content of our character.
Content of our character, that's great. Well, as you know, we'll be looking to hire a new director of faith formation this spring, and I wonder if there are 5 things that we can count right now that show how important faith formation is to this congregation.
Well, I mean, I already know number 1.
You do?
I do. It's the vision statement created by our congregation that says that VUU prioritizes intergenerational experience through increased investment in the faith formation of the next generation.
Let's break that down a bit.
That means that as a congregation, we want our children and our adults to know each other and fully understand, not just like parents and kids, like y'all already know each other, but for all of us to know each other and to fully understand that our kids are the future of our faith, all 120 of them.
Ooh, makes sense. And we did work hard on that this year. The congregation stood behind its vision and hired me to come in to do interim work. And much of that work was focused on the intergenerational experience in worship. So let's call that number 1.
There you go, right there. Okay, so what about 2?
Let's see. In our congregation, in our faith formation program, we look for lessons that teach our children our UU values, values that help them grow into awesome, compassionate, thoughtful people, people who live by our UU covenant.
You mean like love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in friendship. Is that what you're talking about?
That's the one.
All right.
We want to raise children that value the power of love, embrace the search for truth, and live peace-filled lives of service to each other.
So that's number 2. What's next?
Well, you know, we believe that we not only want to grow awesome kids, we want them to be Unitarian Universalist kids. We want to grow our faith.
Yes, we do. Could that be number 3?
Yep, I think that might be number 3. Number 3 up there.
So faith formation programs create new Unitarian Universalists and grow our faith.
And you know, Reverend Sarah, it's not just about the kids.
No, it's not.
In our faith formation programs, we understand the importance of having a community of people who share our UU values and support us as we continue to grow in our faith.
Yeah.
As UUs, our values call us to be lifelong learners. The way we understand something when we're 5.
Like where clouds come from?
Yeah, we can go with that, where the clouds come from. A way we understand that at 5 or 15 or 55 or 75, we need to continue to learn and to grow. We need to stay open and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritage.
Never complete and never perfect.
Never perfect.
Never perfect. But we offer ways to learn from worship and classes, like last weekend when we learned about Cesar Chavez right here, study groups to adults in our congregation, the new participant class we had this weekend.
And more. We've had classes on parenting, on ethics, learning from conflict, leadership, all our soul circles, which go deeper into our monthly theme. Would that be number 4?
Yes, yes,
4.
it would. That's 4. Faith formation helps us become lifelong learners, growing spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritage. So that's number 4. On to number 5.
Let's see. Our faith formation programs also teach youth and adults alike how to live our values in the world.
Give me an example.
Okay, well, after the worship today, we'll have 10 or so youth right there in that kitchen there making stew this afternoon. This is part of the service learning that is a component of the Coming of Age program. They are making the stew for 20 people who will sleep right here on the floor of this sanctuary tomorrow night.
Really?
Really?
And actually, I mean, I know that because my kid brought some stuff for us
Right, yeah, I
today.
know you know that.
Yeah.
We say justice is our calling. So faith formation teaches us how to live our values in the world.
Okay, so learning how to live our UU values out in the world. That's number 5.
Number 5. Faith formation teaches us to live our UU values in the world. There are so many, many things that faith formation at VUU does. These are just 5 of them.
Okay, so Sarah?
Yes, Reverend Sarah?
How are we going to do these 5 things and maybe some others that we haven't even thought of yet?
Funny you should ask. We are going to host a workshop in 2 weeks for everyone who values the future of faith formation at VUU. We have consultants coming from our denomination, the Unitarian Universalist Association, to help us dream about faith formation at VUU and how we will continue to support our vision of increased investment in the faith formation of the next generation.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
Yep, it will be.
And when is it?
Saturday, April 5th.
And what time?
10:30 to 1:30.
Okay, I'll be there.
So will I.
Anyone else?
Reverend Sarah,
Yes, Sarah.
who are the people who care about faith formation at VUU?
Well, let's see, that would be parents of children,
Yes, and who else?
the grandparents of our VUU children,
Yes.
and the members of our congregation that want to see our faith and our congregation thrive.
Wouldn't that be everyone?
Oh, well, let's just take a little poll here. If you care about the faith formation here at VUU, please rise. If you are able.
Wow,
Woo!
that's
You
a
can
lot of
wave, too.
people. Awesome. So be there Saturday, April 5th, 10:30 to 1:30.
Yay! Let's
And-
dream about our future together. And now, I think we have some candles for kids that are going to class. So if you're going to class and you want your little light, come on up and get it from Sarah, and we will sing you to class with your lights. So come on up and grab your lights.
Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me. Wait and see what a world there can be if we share, if we care, you and me.
As our kids exit the room to go to their classes and create community and spaces with each other, I invite us to take a moment of centering, to take the deep breath you might need. Your body shift in your seat. In a moment, you'll be invited to do whatever ritual feels right for you in centering. It might be sitting where you're at and closing your eyes. It might be looking around the room and smiling at someone. It might be getting up to light a candle for a grief or a joy, or leaving a message for us in our pastoral care book. Maybe you like the sense of water and want to add a drop of water to our fountain or touch a stone. Whatever it is for you, maybe you just want to get up and walk for a minute. That's okay. And so I invite you into this time of centering with this adaptation of Psalm 23 called Psalm 23 for this moment. May I remember in this tender moment that love is my guide always, shepherding me towards ways of openness and compassion. I have what I need, really, with love at my side, above me, below me, in front of me, behind me, inside every cell of me. Love infused everywhere. Just when the weight of the world I inhabit threatens to drop me in place and press my hope down into the ground beneath me, love invites me to rest for a gentle while and leads the center of my soul to the quiet, still, restoring waters nearby that somehow I had not noticed. And so love quietly sets me once again on its tender and demanding path. Even when the walls close around me and the cries of death echo through untold corners, gripping my heart with fear and sadness, I know that all will be well, that I will be well when love whispers near to me, glints at the corner of my eye, rests with gentle and persistent invitation upon my shoulders. Yes, love blesses me, even as the sources and symbols of my pain look on. Love blesses me from its infinite well, and I turn and notice that goodness and kindness and grace follow me everywhere, everywhere I go. I live in a house of love, love that will not let me go. I live in a house of love and always will. May you also live in a house of love. Blessed be.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Again.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
Embracing trust, a spiritual reflection. In the journey of life, trust serves as a guiding star, illuminating our path through the unknown. It is the silent force that encourages us to loosen our grip on certainty and embrace the present moment with an open heart. When we trust, we allow life to unfold as it is, without resistance, without fear. In the teachings of Zen Buddhism, the concept of shinshin emerges, often translated as faith or trust. But this is not faith in an external power. It is faith in the deep, inherent wisdom of existence itself. The ancient poem Shinshin Ming, or Faith in Mind, tells us, "The great way is not difficult for those who do not pick and choose." This speaks to a kind of trust that goes beyond reason or logic, a trust in the natural unfolding of life. It reminds us that much of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we judge, control, or cling too tightly, we create struggle. But when we trust, we align ourselves with the deeper currents of existence. Now, trust is not passive. It is an active surrender. It is the ability to walk forward even when the path is unclear. It is knowing that even in uncertainty, even in difficulty, life continues to carry us. The river does not ask where it is going, it simply flows. The trees do not demand to know when spring will return, they simply stand, rooted in trust. Yet trust does not mean ignoring caution. In Buddhism, the principle of tathata, or suchness, encourages us to see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. Trust is not about blind optimism. It is about deep acceptance. It is about moving through life with openness rather than control, with courage rather than fear. When we cultivate trust, we begin to see that we are not separate from life, but woven into its fabric. We realize that just as the sun rises and the tides shift, we too are part of something vast and interconnected. And in that realization, there is peace. So perhaps the question is not, can I trust, but rather, what happens when I do?
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
What a wonderful world this could be. Wait and see what a world this could be if we share, if we care, you and me. This world so full of promise and beauty that we wake to each day with gifts we can easily miss and mistake for something we can consume as we wish. Perhaps you wonder, as I do, if humanity has the capacity to render this world safe from our own deleterious impulses. If we can instead sustain the rich resources of life available with each breath we take. We are living in a perilous moment. So perilous, it is hard to imagine the depth and breadth of destruction being undertaken. In this moment, we are witness to the criminal demolition of structures and resources meant to serve the common good, and to cruel intentions to disappear people and livelihoods and even history itself. This wholesale desolation undermines the fabric of our communities and the promise of our country. And the expectation that the institutions of our floundering democracy could be, perhaps even have been, robust and engaged, comes from the simple belief that the people who work in these institutions are and have been committed to a common good. Restoring trust in this possibility is ultimately about restoring relationships. We must also restore a deeper sense of meaning and connection and even commitment to some shared understanding of what the common good might be. As Unitarian Universalists, we name this restoration love, with a capital L. Rev. Shig Sukari says that love includes faithful adherence to practices that deepen good. Perhaps love is faithful covenanting itself, a devotion to live into community and collective values for a greater purpose. What is the common good? This love with a capital L. How do we know when we're working together toward the common good? Perhaps we know it as an experience of trust that others will care about us as much as we care about them and as much as they care about themselves. And that they are willing to act in ways that meet our shared humanity with dignity and compassion. Sometimes we experience this trust with other people whose paths cross ours, and we are reminded that friendship and collegiality are building blocks for the common good. And sometimes we experience this in a shared project that integrates our talents and values into strategies for making the world a better place. And sometimes we experience this as a network of services designed over time to meet a wide range of needs with shared resources. Love builds a bridge and invites us to cross over one to the other. Now, my week has been threaded through with love. On Tuesday, I met up with a compassionate crew of VUU volunteers in the kitchen of this building to serve a nourishing meal to folks who come here to rest overnight 4 times a month. All around this room, as you heard earlier, a group of 24 or more people brought foam sleeping pads and clear backpacks and set up a place to rest for the night. Eager to host with care, our volunteers set up water and lemonade and prepared to greet the folks providing the meal, which they served with care. And for these guests, we offer welcome and a prayer before the meal, and sometimes we set out a game and book cart and even art supplies. We tend to the humanity of the weary, singing for birthdays and chatting as we are clearing away dishes and putting away food, taking out the trash and running the dishwasher. And we rely on each other too. Our guests also clean up. They sweep and wipe down, put away tables and chairs. And as dinner comes to an end, we gently say goodnight, leaving a pot of coffee for the next morning and lunches for the next day. And sometimes we sit and share the meal that's been served and weave a conversation of small talk and little revelations into the worlds that we move in. The threads of love are sewn here too, gleaming silver threads that shine when the light catches them, reminding us that being of service to each other is one of the ways we love the hell out of this world and bring the redemptive power of love into it. This week, I also experienced the stitching of love in a room full of people who believe that healthcare is a human right. People who believe that taking care of each other shouldn't bankrupt us, and that medicine is a form of care that should be delivered with compassion and dignity. And I heard stories about the commitments made decades ago to delivering this care and ensuring its access. It's actually called that too. An evolution of love in the form of medical services in Maricopa County. I met people who have spent their whole career tending to this promise of love and with love, knowing that both healing and suffering have been held by this work. I watched and listened as we grappled with ideas for how we will tend this vessel if the cracks get larger, how we can stave off the destruction of this life-saving program known by many names. I just said one of them, but Obamacare or the ACA or Medicaid or Access, there's a bunch of other ones. What can we do to stay afloat and make sure we don't have people thrown overboard? And at the end of the week, I visited Adams Elementary School and saw firsthand the developing relationship of trust and commitment to the common good and the work of our own East Valley VUU project, Partners in Education. I met some of the staff and saw many familiar faces tutoring in the school library after school. I heard how the tax dollars that we fundraise and allocate from our tax returns contribute in many small ways to the needs of this school community, to children who are learning English and finding their way in a new culture. And over time, the principal has learned to trust that our volunteers will show up and be kind, thoughtful, and helpful as they work with young learners, reading books and using flashcards, smiling and encouraging. And as I watched, I could see the deep respect and care of each volunteer radiating in their smiles and their gentle prodding. Gratitude and partnership were woven together with attention to details and a sense of belonging. I left knowing both the challenges of this work and the rewards of meeting them. None of this work would be possible without a commitment to relationship and a sense of trust. And none of it is possible without love. Friends, there are destructive forces at work in our world right now. People who are ripping out the seams and tearing the fabric of our communities apart, betraying our trust, demanding allegiance to something that does not respect our dignity, undermining our sense of solidarity and connection and our commitment to the common good, asking us to watch the demolition and applaud its efficiency. None of us agreed to this. I certainly didn't. Did you? As Unitarian Universalists, we live in covenant with one another and with the world around us. Our covenant isn't an inner monologue, as Sophia Betancourt says. It isn't talking to oneself, about oneself, for oneself, because theology is a dialogue, which means the most important question for us theologically isn't, what do I believe? But rather, with whom am I in holy, accountable conversation? And the answer is that we are in holy, accountable conversation with all that we encounter. Each moment we are with other people and in any given place, we are in conversation about what it means to be alive, to be in relationship with creation, and to be creating something together as we stitch together our intentions and our prayers. This week, I invited someone new into my home, offering them a meal and accepting the gifts that they arrived with. They were really cool stickers and some other cool stuff. We shared 3 hours of conversation that connected us as humans, as Unitarian Universalists, as moms and daughters, as activists and dog lovers, and as two people whose commitment to love, to the common good, was a thread sewn through each of these. Now, while my new friend and comadre does not live in Phoenix, I know that our commitments to building the beloved community and dismantling systems of oppression are already shared work and future conversations. My new friend reminded me who I am and what I care about, and she reminded me that I am not alone. And I extended my trust to her. And she turned toward me with trust as well. The kind of trust that allows you to share stories from your life and to walk someone else's dog and to hope for future conversations, shared projects, and meals. I don't know what will grow from these, but I do know that it will be watered by love and a yearning for justice. Dear ones, it matters when we show up. And it matters when we show up together. It matters how we show up and that we let love lead us and how we respond to each other. Now, this isn't an invitation to be nice. It's an invitation to be clear. Clear about what love is calling us to do, and to be clear that we are not supposed to be doing that work alone. All of these moments I've shared with you were embroidered by love. And UUA President Sophia Bettencourt says that it is a love that expects nothing less of us than the rebuilding of this struggling world. She says we need reminding in solidarity, connection, and care to restore what we long to hold and to heal, that which keeps us from being more loving. This is an invitation to look around and see this room as the potential for love in action. What does love look like when all of us are connected by the threads of love and in a conversation about our shared future and our current situation? What does love allow us to build together that we cannot build alone? What does love call us to speak out against or to demand? And how can our voices lifted together bring the power of love into its fullness? There are many ways that love may be calling you, but I am asking you to listen more deeply because right now, love is calling all of us, and you need not act alone. Amen? You need not act alone. You might feel alone, but when you act from love, you are a beacon for others. Love calls you to find each other and to work together to proclaim your solidarity. It might look simpler to accomplish this work without having to negotiate with others. Or if you limit your actions to people you have the most in common with, or enough experience to feel a sense of trust. Love calls us to trust something bigger and more complex than that, to show up and work out our differences, to pursue healing over harm, to allow ourselves to be transformed, which begins with being uncomfortable and unsure. Trust is the leap of faith we make when love calls us into new work and new relationships. Now, in practical terms, I'm inviting you to consider the people in this room and the members of this community as integral to your group project in this life. You might not become friends with everyone in this room, but what if this gathering was your starting point for solidarity? Not just the 5 people you know and have saved their phone numbers in your phone. All of us. And how can you draw that circle even wider? What other communities and people could you stitch together with us? Because in the end, love doesn't care if you are productive or efficient. Love cares how we can generate life-giving hope in concert with all of those around us. Yeah. Love is generative, not destructive. Reverend Nancy McDonald Ladd asks us, what if what we perceive as love is also nurture and mutuality and sustainability and balance embedded in networks of relationship? Listen, love is calling us. Trust yourself to answer the call. In the face of great destruction and the greed of a powerful few, love is calling us to do the work of the common good, to trust each other to mend what has been rent, to return to a covenant of care in which the world renders the fullness of its beauty and abundance, even as we must carry the burden of our failures. Love offers a way through, an opportunity to repair the breach and reimagine the common good. So come, let's imagine the world we will make together, threaded with the brilliance of our yearning and the strength of our resilience. May it be so. Blessed be. I'm going to invite Joel Sanis to come forward to take up our offering and also share with you a little bit about our pledge drive.
This is set for Obi's height. Obi, welcome back. It's great to have you back. Yes. So I had a conversation with a friend, close friend. A lot of our conversations, my conversations, probably yours too, are dominated by what we're experiencing since January. And the friend said he's stuck on what can he do. And when I said to the friend, we were just we're having a beer together and we're just shooting the breeze and talking about what we can do. And what I said to him, are you a safe place for somebody who is young and transgender or gay? And he said he was. Are you a safe place for somebody who thinks they've been a victim of racial discrimination? And he said he was. Are you a safe place for your children who are concerned about their future? And he said that he was. So we can all do things in our daily lives that don't require that we go out and march, don't require that we go to political rallies. Some of us do that. I saw this week members of our congregation who went to Andy Biggs's town hall meeting, and then we're told that because they're not Republicans, they're not welcome to Andy Biggs's town hall meeting. And then they were on the news in our congregation. Thank you, Eileen. Yes. So there are so many things that we can do, and we can do them together. One of the things that we can do together, of course, involves supporting the Valley Unitarian Universalist congregation financially. As some of you know, I'm working on the annual pledge drive. We've been working on the annual pledge drive with a short kickoff in November, and now we're coming to the end of the annual pledge drive because we need to start planning for our budget, which is going to start happening. It always happens. We're planning for the budget all year long, but we'll really start planning for our budget in April with a meeting in May to discuss the budget and then an approval as a Democratic congregation in June to approve our budget. I will tell you we're doing well with Pledge Drive, but not as well as we need to do. We are just about past the $300,000 number. What I've been telling people is donate or pledge what you are comfortable with. I do have some unusual demographic, and it's something that we need to work on, but something I'd like some of the newer members of our congregation to know, and that is we have this unusual situation where we don't have any pledges from people who did not pledge last year or the year before, which is an unusual, just statistically unusual. And so I'd encourage all of you who are newer, who haven't pledged before, to get in the habit of pledging. It doesn't have to be an uncomfortable amount. We wouldn't want that from you anyway, but if you can get into the habit of pledging, I think you'll find that year after year you become one of the larger supporters of the congregation, and that's just more encouragement for younger members and younger, newer and younger members to pledge the congregation also. Thank you all very much.
And so will the ushers pass the plate, and we will be singing together. And I will just add that I'm going to be inviting you to some small group conversations in April, online, perhaps in person, with different leaders, to help invite you into a conversation about our shared future, what you imagine for us, so that when we talk about budget, we're also talking about what we want to do with our budget. So look for that in happenings.
We come from the fire, breathing in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. We come to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living in the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. So is life. Oh, so is life. So is life. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are? See, we one another clearly. Do you know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are? Do you know clearly? Do you really are? Do you know who I am? Do you know who we are? See, we one another clearly. Do you know we are? Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Oh, so is life. Water makes the river, river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight, turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain. Spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only turn the Spirit, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. 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 So is life. Oh, so is life.
Our closing words for today, I'll be reading Old Friends by Freya Manfred. Old friends are a steady spring rain, or a late summer sunshine edging into fall, or frosted leaves along a snowy path. A voice for all seasons saying, I know you. The older I grow, the more I fear I'll lose my old friends, as if too many years have scrolled by. Since the day we sprang forth seeking each other, old friend, I knew you before we met. I saw you at the window of my soul. I heard you in the steady millstone of my heart, grinding grain for our daily bread. You are sedimentary, rock solid, cousin earth, where I stand firmly astonished by your grace and your truth. And gratitude comes to me and says, tell me anything, and I will listen. Ask me anything, and I will answer you.
Join us in Woyaya. Please rise as you're able. Are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know it. When We know we will. Oh yeah, yeah, 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 oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You all didn't get to see her, but I have a great new friend in that front row up there. Future Unitarian Universalist with great joy and great energy. Woo-woo! Before we extinguish our chalice, I just have a couple of quick reminders. If you didn't know, we're doing a camp out the second weekend in April up in Prescott. We stay in cabins, we do campfire, we do fun workshops together that folks lead. We'd love for you to sign up and join us for that weekend. So Chris Sarr back here in the back has a table. Stop by and learn more. We have about a week for you to finish registering to come. And also, next weekend, we have a Transgender Day of Visibility, couple of things happening. So on the west side of this campus, we're going to be inviting and conforming folks to join us with their families and of all ages to learn more about what we can share with each other in terms of resources to make deeper connections as a community and think about how we can protect each other in this time of discernment about how our future is going to look. So join us for that. And of course, next Sunday, we'll be celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility as part of our Sunday service. And finally, Sunday, this fourth Sunday, we are hosting a Building Community Relations house meeting in the Flex Room, coordinated by VUU's Caring Neighbors and Valley Interfaith Project. The purpose is to share stories of challenges that are currently affecting you and your family or friends, and the goal is to build compassion, connection, and solidarity in our VUU community. I feel like I just preached about that, so if you want to come join that conversation, please do that. And always join us in the welcome circle and for refreshments and conversation, and join me in saying these words as we extinguish the chalice. Though we extinguish the chalice, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Go in peace, meet and greet each other.